Hey friends, what's up? Phillip here with Points of Phillip, and I'm actually coming to you on location-ish. I'm actually on vacation. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky with a friend of mine, and we're doing some fun things. But I just had to talk to you about an interesting rumor that, just came out today. And I just couldn't wait to talk to you about it. So we're going to get into that. But before I do, I wanted to ask you guys to like and subscribe. Doing that really helps me to learn if what I'm doing is helpful for you guys. And in you doing that, it actually helps other people see the content as well. So I appreciate doing that. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the actual rumor and the actual news. So there is currently a test link that American Express has briefly posted. It's no longer up. But this link allegedly showed that the new annual fee of the Platinum card was going to be $895. Now, this is a pretty substantial increase from the current $695, so that's going to be a $200 increase. Now, it is interesting because, so first of all, it's actually $100 more than the newly announced Chase Sapphire Reserve annual fee. So that was recently announced last week. You'll remember literally everyone on the internet talked about it, where Chase announced that the new fee was going to be $795 and then $195 for authorized users. So we don't have any information about what the authorized user fee would be for the Platinum. So it could be more than the current $195. It could stay the same at the current $195. That's unknown. Now it's expected that the business Platinum would be similar if in fact this rumor is true and that the annual fee is $895. Now, a lot of people have been thinking about the fact that it seems like this annual fee for the new Platinum card would be north of $1,000. And the reason why is because, lounge crowding is kind of a thing. And it's kind of a problem that it seems like the only way that these big banks are dealing with this kind of problem is by limiting the amount of people that have access to this resource. And while the problem with the American Express Platinum card is that that's one of the big reasons to actually get the card. The Centurion Lounge program is an incredible program if it works for you. But if more and more people use that program, then it works for fewer and fewer people. So there's kind of a catch-22 here. Now, this annual fee is substantially more, but it is kind of expected that that American Express is going to increase access to some sort of value. And so, in order to kind of theorize what that could be, and of course it should be noted this is completely speculation at this point, right? Because the only kind of rumor that's highly unconfirmed is that the annual fee is going to increase by $200, and then everything else is what I think is going to happen. So let's get into what the current annual fee is with the Platinum card and what you get. So the current annual fee with the Platinum card is $695, $195 for authorized users. And so what that gets you, you have the $200 hotel credit and that's available through Fine Hotels and Resorts or the Hotel Collection. Now the Hotel Collection has a 2-night minimum in order to get that credit, but it's really easy to get. That's only once per year. Now you get $240 digital entertainment credit that comes in the form of $20 every month. And as long as you're someone who pays for Peacock, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, or Disney Plus bundle, then that's going to be an easy value for you. And then you also have the Walmart Plus credit, which they value at $155. However, you can get an annual package for $50 to $98 depending on when it's on sale. So I wouldn't value it at $155, but I definitely wouldn't value it nothing because, it's kind of revolutionized how my wife and I shop for kind of everyday items like toilet paper and, dish soap and things like that. You also get a $200 airline fee credit with the current Platinum card, and now you do have to specify the airline that you use it for every year, but once you do that, you actually get that, and so that's available throughout the year. It's not like $50 increments every quarter or something like that. Shout out to the Hilton Aspire card, right? You also get $200 in Uber Cash that comes in $15 every month, and it comes in a form of Uber Cash to your Uber account, and then you get $20 in December, so it's a little bit higher in December. Then you get Shop Saks with Platinum. That's $100 that nobody really values anything of because, Saks is just a dumpster fire. In fact, the only thing that I've actually seen where you could get decent value is if you use it to shop for, say, kitchen supplies is an interesting option. So that could be something where you could actually, save some money, but otherwise, you're probably not getting a lot of value. Now, there is Clear Plus, and that's something that I do value. I don't know if I value it at $200 a year, but it is nice to have. right? So that is kind of the top lines. And so, I use a lot of those credits, but if they were to increase the annual fee by $200, well, in theory, they'd really only have to increase the benefits by an additional $200. Now, it's possible they do more, right? But, I feel like moving, my friend John R., he actually speculated a couple days ago about whether or not the new Platinum card would have kind of an increased FHR benefit, and he kind of speculated it could go up to $400. I think that could be on the mark because that helps kind of guide more people into the Amex's kind of controlled ecosystems and portals, and that's something that they seem to want to do, and so that could be helpful. And so I think he would prefer it to be, John R. said that he'd prefer it to be $400 that you can use at one go. I think if they do go that route, it's more likely going to be broken up in some way, and kind of the least offensive way would be if it was $200 for the first 6 months and $200 for the second 6 months of each year. And so we'll see what happens with that. And as that news develops, we will continue to talk about it. Believe me, I love talking about credit card news. So now we got to talk about the elephant in the room, and that's going to be Chase, because Chase here has an annual fee of $795 and $195 for authorized users. Now, here's the thing. They have like well over $2,000 of advertised benefits, but you've really got to put in the work in order to get value from it. And so I feel like depending on how this American Express Platinum card week goes, it really could blow Chase out of the water here. So let's get into what the Chase Sapphire Reserve new card is going to be. And so that's going to be for any new card members, that's going to begin next week. But then if you are a current card holder, that's only going to begin October 26th of this year. So you're going to get 8 points per dollar on Chase travel purchases, 4 points per dollar on hotels and airlines booked directly, a $500 annual The Edit credit, and that comes $250 every 6 months. And so that's kind of where I think this FHR credit could go if they decide to increase it. And then we have a points boost that's going to be kind of flexible. So like if there's a flight that they want you to buy, they'll make it to where you can redeem, and get 2 cents per point for your flights. However, I don't really think that actually is going to matter that much. And the reason why is because it's only going to be for top line flights. And the thing is, with these top line flights, I would much rather take these points and transfer them out to transfer partners, because at the end of the day, that's going to be guaranteed value of well north of 2 cents per point if you're redeeming for international business class, which is what these highline seats are going to be most likely. And so, although this is a stated benefit of this card, I don't think it's going to be in anybody's best interest to actually look for these seats. So take that what you will. Now, there's also a $300 annual travel credit that's very flexible, at least in its current iteration. It seems like it's going to continue to be very flexible as well. Now, there's also a $120 global entry credit, access to the Chase Sapphire Lounge. And then we have a $300 annual dining credit, which is specifically it's going to be through a special collection through Open Table. So you actually have to add your reserve card to Open Table, and then you get a special access to the exclusive tables collection. So those seem like they're very highline, things. So that may not be the best option. Now, you also get 3 points per dollar. I'm just going down the list. There's a $250 annual value through complimentary subscriptions to Apple TV Plus and Apple Music. You could value that at $250. Most people probably don't. There's a $300 annual StubHub credit. That's $150 every 6 months. And then there's $120 in Lyft credits that are very weird. It's $10 monthly. And then, it's not nearly as bad as the DoorDash credits, though, which are one $5 benefit for every month, and then two $10 benefits, but only for grocery or retail purchases. So that's interesting. Then you get $10 a month in Peloton equipment rebates. And then so that's the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And so, well, here's the thing. I feel like Chase's options, while on paper providing a lot more value, feels a lot harder to work with than the current iteration of credits with the Platinum card, or kind of the iteration that we could see, especially with this $895 annual fee. So it will again reclaim its title as being the most expensive lounge access premium travel credit card. But depending on how Amex's ecosystem kind of functions through this, it could actually be a better option. And so, well, as we learn more about these options, these cards, I'll tell you more about, I'll tell you everything that we know about it. But anyway, I just wanted to talk to you about kind of the breaking news / rumor that we're experiencing. And it kind of feels right, because it's higher than the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which I think everybody expected. But it's not so high that Chase or American Express doesn't have room to put a higher level card. And so remember, there's some rumors going around too that American Express is looking for a higher level card that's going to be between the Platinum and the Centurion card. And so if they blow the Platinum annual fee up to $1,000 or $1,300 or $1,500, then there's not really a lot of room above that for most consumers. And so I feel like, it makes sense as a number. It's competitively priced in the marketplace ish, right? Depending on how those credits work. So it kind of feels like this rumor might be true. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks so much for joining me. I will go back to going to a bourbon experience, and I can't wait to see you guys online in the comment section. Bye.